just regular tea.
Yeah.
You don't put any cream in it or anything?
No, I've just recently switched to drinking tea during the week and maybe a coffee or two during the weekend.
Mathieu Alepin. So Matt, can I call you Matt?
Yeah.
Take me back. Take me back when you were a kid. Because to me, you're like, I see your movies and I hear your music and you're like an artist. When did you figure out, or when did it come to you that, hey, you know what? I see things a bit different.
Oh, well, I've always seen things a bit different. Not bragging about it, but I have no depth perception. So I grew up as a kid wearing really thick glasses, patches, and that sort of thing. Very introverted, just mainly keeping out of trouble, getting into trouble, keeping out of trouble, that sort of thing.
And the whole way through, what was sort of your first sort of outlet? Was it hand art? Was it music? Was it?
It was a combination of things. It was mixing tapes.
Tapes, right?
And drawing.
18-track tapes, or it was 16-track?
Oh no, just regular tapes.
The cassettes.
The cassette
yeah.
tapes, yeah.
If anyone knows what a cassette tape is, well, look it up.
Fun little things like that, and experimenting. A lot of
very crude.
And randomism as well.
Right.
As a kid, I used to just pick out words and do stories out of that. And,
so how did you get into wanting to be into film? Like, what drew you to filmmaking?
Theatre at first.
So
back in high school, I wanted to become an actor, and then I thought about it, and I guess in order to act, you need a script. So then I thought, you need a story, so I should become a writer to write things and focus on that, because for some reason, I just saw it from where to start off on your own sort of point of view, do your own things, do your own demos, that sort of thing. But then I got caught up in the writing, and then and I think the writing came from maybe the plots, my attraction to plots from, as a kid I'd play with G.I. Joes or that sort of thing. But I wouldn't really play with G.I. Joes. Me and my friend, childhood friend, we would just set up the G.I. Joes, the premise and everything, and then call it a day. So I think that just went forward, and so I focused on the writing. But then, I did the degree in creative writing at Concordia, early 2000s, and then I got bored, couldn't do anything with that afterwards, and just decided, let's focus on acting and performing. I got into improv over there in Montreal, and then I wrote a sketch. Thought I'd try to send it into Saturday Night Live. Very ambitious, and then so I ended up talking to somebody there, and it sounded like Lorne Michaels, but who knows, everybody sounds like no one over there, and mentioned Second City. So I thought, what is this Second City? It turns out there's one in Toronto, so I cancelled the lease that I'd just taken up from an old girlfriend, and just decided to move to Toronto and take some Second City courses, and moved from there and got into acting and got into freelance journalism as well, and music. I was always into music.
How many instruments can you play?
Well, I can manage to make some sounds out of guitar, classical guitar, and pianos, and then from there, I mean, anything I just dabble with, the sounds will come out, but I'm not an expert at it. I just do my best, and if there's music,
you've created your own music, like you have original songs, and
I'm a singer-songwriter on the side, and just starting a band now with more synthesizers. I'm obsessed with synthesizers lately. And,
so do you know that famous, the 808.
Oh yeah.
Do you have one?
Yeah, no. Well, I have a simulated one, but VST sort of. But yeah, no, I like to mix everything up together.
So I guess when you make your movies, I mean, it sounds like you have everything pretty much down. You got the writing in, you have all the production side of it in, you have the music side of it in.
So different roles, different hats to wear, and I think but it's being in the moment. And at the moment, like for instance, we're finishing shooting some scenes from this feature film, The Intervention.
Right.
And yeah, I haven't gotten into the editing yet.
I was just going to get into that. I know you were telling me earlier about this is your first feature film.
Yeah.
And you've done a bunch of shorts.
Yeah.
But this feature length.
Yeah.
By the end of it, how long will it run?
Well, I'm looking forward to cutting out all the unnecessary bits, and so hopefully it'll be like maybe hoping towards 80 minutes or so. It's a comedy, but we'll see.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. Like, where did you get the idea of? First of all, The Intervention. You know?
Well, participated in this 48-hour film project. We had to come up with an idea within 48 hours and start shooting it and get it done, delivered before the deadline, the end of that. And so we did a couple of those, me and a colleague, and from there we ended up, sending them to festivals and got into festivals. But and you pick the title, the genre, and not the title, but just the genre, giving specifics, and then you have to do what you can with what you've got in that short amount of time, and so it's a challenge.
So tell me this in the story of The Intervention. What is the movie about?
Well, it's inspired by the short that we did, but it's not really at all that anymore. It's just evolved.
Much bigger.
With the heart and characters more defined than within what you can do in 48 hours. So I wrote the script in about a year and 8-9 months, and just rewrote it, got everything together. I wrote it with the actors in mind and the settings as well in mind. So to keep the budget low, and I knew what the actors had seen, what they could do, and I knew they'd pull it off, and they've surprised me even more than I could ever imagine. And
movie magic.
It is. So the intervention is about two idiots that do an intervention on their best childhood friend, and who doesn't want to have any interventions, and it's that's the premise. It just gets darker from there.
So it's a dark comedy.
Dark comedy, yeah.
And you did everything yourself.
Oh.
The production side, the cameras. I mean.
Well, I had the help from the crew and the actors as well. Like they were jacks of all trades as well. I had no idea. Like for instance, one of the leads was very good with lighting, and that really helped a whole lot. Just those little elements, and then we got some outside help as well, and from people we knew, and for instance, one fellow was supposed to do the boom mic, and then we ended up we had a lot of microphones going on already, so he ended up assisting me with the camera.
It's quite magical. Yeah. You start something, and all of a sudden all these things come out of the bush, basically, unbeknownst to your.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
No.
There's total surprises.
Exactly, and it's quite different from writing something to directing something. Just the stages, you can't imagine fully what it will be like on the shoot day.
Right.
You
could imagine
the challenges and all that. Yeah.
You can imagine what's going to come, but nothing.
Nothing. like just a setting. I've been to this cabin that we shot at many times before, but in my mind, while writing it, the doors were totally different places. The space was different, and even seeing photos in pre-shoot, we had to move things about, but you can't tell where everything's going to be beforehand, even when you know those little details, the lighting and all that, and the characters. It comes to life on the spot, and you have to be in the moment.
You prepare as much as you can.
Yeah.
And once you get on the set,
You've got the tools, and you just use them.
Where is the movie now? Are you done shooting?
We're still shooting a few more scenes, some animated bits, stop-up motion animation that I want to dabble with. I've not done it yet that much, and so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But I need to shoot a second part of a green screen scene, for instance, where I just need to transform my living room into a green screen studio and just shoot the actors, and in the end it'll come together. I'll do a bit of art in the background, and so that and some dream sequences, and then just inserts, just small inserts, and then we're done. And
So when do you think you'll have it all edited and
I am
ready
hoping,
for a showing?
I'm hoping by giving myself till March to have everything pieced together. I'm going to try to get it done before that. And now it's November, end of November, so I'm hoping, it will be sooner than later, but there's a limit,
and afterwards, I guess you want to submit it to festivals.
Yeah, festivals all around, and see where it goes, and
So do you have an idea of which festivals you plan on?
No, I'll take it as it comes. And,
So just finish the movie.
Exactly. Focus one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Multitasking is a good thing in theory, but you just got to focus on one thing and get through that part. And then you can multitask in between, like just ideas on planning. But,
So do you have other movies, other scripts that you've written that you want to shoot after you're done?
I would love to see how the stop motion animation goes with that, and see. In the late 90s, I studied 3D animation, and I just did it myself for a while. I just studied, tried to read all the books here and there I could, and what came out of it was I just thought it wasn't ready yet. The whole the physics of it didn't seem real to me, and so by now, like skip almost 20 years later, it feels more like you can do things using the basic. I mean, tons of people are doing amazing things in animation, but it wasn't where I thought I wanted the animation to be.
Back in the 90s.
Yeah, and really I've limited myself by doing things on my own as well. So I'm just looking at what can I do on my own to make it look that real. And I was trying too hard, I think, back then. And now, so with that in mind, any other projects I have this
scripts,
story,
scripts that you've written that you want to.
I have a comedy that I've written. Touches it's in the near future, and robots are involved. So getting those robots to move would be interesting if I can figure out how it looks. Stylistic-wise, I think I can come up with something. So seeing with the process of getting through this film, one thing at a time, getting through this film, I can see how the challenges will be to get through the next film. And I've learned so much from
making the intervention, you mean?
Yeah, and even though I've kept it simple, for instance, some scenes I thought, props, very simple, it's still very complicated. And to think of all the props you need to bring and to have on hand and some things. And we managed, I had the help of the crew, and it was amazing to get things done. New ways, finding new ways as well to get things done. But yeah, in the end, you got to keep it simple and just stick to the story and make sure that the story works.
So the intervention, how many cast?
Oh, there's 3 leads. I'd say it's around 13 people all in all in the film, but main cast is us 3.
What were the crew doubling up crew cast?
Yeah. We did double up a lot, and it helps keeping. The process I've discovered in the past is keeping the crew very small.
Yeah.
You get less complications.
Small crew, well fed.
Well fed, especially. Yeah, well fed.
Right, because you're not paying them.
Yeah. Well, when it's a project like this, the food, and hope to that this film will make something that I can feed the actors later on with this.
Well, that's the idea, and that's why you try and keep the budget low, so that when it's all said and done, whatever monies comes in, you could give whatever you want to the people that helped you make the movie.
And I'm very thankful that a lot of actors, all those that have taken part in this film, have believed in the film and the script, and
it's incredible how they all come together for you.
Yeah. They believe they could piece this together.
So
and,
in the movie, you're one of the leads.
I am, yeah.
And
I'm a father of a 2-year-old.
And how did you find that, working in front of the camera and at the same time figuring out what you have to do? It sounds like it was a little bit of a complicated movie. And you're still going through it, right? Stop motion, all this sort of very technical.
It's different. Well, the stop motion scenes, thankfully, I'm not in them.
Well, no, but you're acting. You're thinking, well.
It's having to figure out where everybody's going to be.
Exactly.
And, I would have doubts at times, and then think, okay, it'll all settle itself out. These are just tasks that need to be done.
Right.
But I'll say that one of the challenges that I ended up facing is in one scene I have a baby strapped to my back, my own daughter, she's 2 years old, and I'm blindfolded and shooting arrows at somebody. And I'm directing that scene, so I thought, oh, that will go well, no problems, while writing it, like, we'll figure it out as it comes. But on the spot, on the day of shooting, you realize, like, I've got a baby strapped to my back, and she's a toddler now.
Right.
And I've been changing her age all through the script because I didn't know when.
She's growing as you shoot.
Yeah. So I had to change a few things, but then she's not as silent as she used to be, which is a good thing. I encourage her.
She's getting smarter.
Oh yeah, very.
More aware.
Yeah, and bored as well. The key word here is bored.
Right.
And so on a rainy day, shooting that, and the rain hadn't started yet, and it's outside, and all the elements, and then just getting the right frame while blindfolded, and it ended up working out in some ways, but with challenges and some cropping, and it's all good. But gosh, I'm never writing a scene like that ever again.
Well, Matt, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's my pleasure, and I look forward to seeing your movie when it's done. So stay tuned, everybody. The Intervention is coming to you, I guess, 2018.
Yep.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you. Ah. Huh. Oh. Mistakes I've done in the past. I'd say, am I doing what I've always wanted to do? Or, or is there still change to come? Am I discovering that I still have some more to discover about myself? That's not too worrisome. I should embrace that. But on the other hand, it is kind of, yeah, shakes me up. Oh, oh. Well, I was in this building not too long ago, a few years ago in Ireland. It was a glass building. It was pretty fancy. Oh, I really like dragons. Fire-breathing dragons, not the water type. Oh, um, be yourself. Ah, I, I quite like Matt Berry. Yeah. Ah, it was, it was a long time ago. It was this movie by John Carpenter. It was very, very unsettling. I forget the name of it. Probably my own. So far. I'm very hopeful that in the future that will change. Uh, ah, possibly randomism. Not a lot of people like to explore that, but I like to experiment with randomism. Ah, uh, one that doesn't bother you with updates or anything like that.